Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. For last many days, I have been tossing with this idea in my elements framework that how come our children, we ourselves, as we grow from this system, we are not really very good in working with our hands. In fact, we feel it below dignity as well. Probably it goes into our system that most of the amas, our people are going into academics with very little technical skills coming into the school life or even the home life. And probably there is something different in the industrial people who are coming with and now we have almost got a defeatist mindset. Okay, our children should be just able to absorb the technologies, but they are not even able to properly absorb. Come what may, any profession. So I have the privilege, my friend Yogi Karl, coming from that part of the world, Germany. So let's bounce this idea with him, and what has he to say? Okay, Mr. Yogi.
Yeah, this is really a Southeast Asian speciality, to pull everything into thinking and to avoid getting dirty, Actually, in Germany, IT technician, when he shows up at the office door of my sister, who is a chartered accountant, and he enters the office, my sister gets slightly nervous because he's charging $200 per hour. He's charging $3 per minute. Whatever he does, maybe talking with her, maybe loading some software or something. She's really not interested to keep him too much time in the office.
Now the idea is
this guy is on the practical side, and he's earning a serious money.
How to convert our children? Say, for example, if they have learned some basics motor skills at the age of something 10 or something, what do they do?
That means in the West, the motor skills, the man who has some able hands is paid a serious money, sometimes more than a lawyer. So there is a basic respect automatically when that guy shows up at the door. Everybody up to the lawyer and to the judge knows, oh damn, now it's getting expensive.
Of course our guys would like to have it, but how? Can you share some thoughts on how?
Exactly that. See, as soon as we start to allow our children to provide to them access to a heap of materials, of different materials, and as soon as we introduce them and allow them to learn how to use tools and to influence, to shape those materials, they can start doing funny things. They can even, of course, buy something. They look at that board solution and say, yeah, they did something in that factory, but actually it needs a little bit of an upgrade and an improvement. I can do that.
So what is the basics they should be doing? For example, what areas you would say they would be working in, for example?
The oldest workshop I can imagine in my memory, archaeologically and historically, is the Pottery. So maybe 30 to 50,000 years ago, it was the first workshop of humanity.
And I think it gives a very good concept of shapes, volumes, construction.
But we should not overdo the Pottery, because we don't want to have only happy housewives.
What about this carpentry?
Maybe then we go to the next one, which is able to work wood, the carpenter, and the very first tool I can imagine is a piece of iron in the right hand and a piece of iron in the left hand. The right hand is called a hammer and the left hand is called a chisel, and then he starts shaping around. And he can do marvelous things. I had an uncle who was a smith, and he could do with these two pieces of iron. I am myself a qualified iron worker, and I was flabbergasted. I was so totally shocked what this guy could do magic with a chisel and a hammer.
The basics of the mechanicals. And
then
what
we
about
build up.
electrical? It has almost flooded our lives, the gadgets.
And then,
and all
of
that.
course, over the pottery, over the
Mechanical.
carpenter, over the mechanical. Then we come already closer to our reality now. Electrical and electronics and funny things like drones and LED lights. And these things should be handleable by a reasonably educated person. So
even
he has
a
to
housewife at home,
Yeah.
if a circuit goes off, isn't it the very basic stuff that she has to?
Show me that lady on the 12. That one. She's not a fancy from a fairy dream, but she knows how to use a screwdriver. For example, my sister knows how to use a screwdriver and a drill machine, and she can do something which she's disturbed in the household, and she's just changing it.
Yeah, and with this kind of skill set in their quivers, I think it's very good idea to whatever they buy from market. Okay, go and grab, but personalize it.
And I really like the expression to look at something I bought freshly and I say, well, there is one feature is missing. Either they forgot it, those engineers in that big company forgot it, or maybe they didn't have interest, or they are just stupid. Let's improve it.
And for that, these skills are important.
Yeah, and then I start adapting this consumerism thing, to my personal habits, to my personal needs, and I end up with a better product.
And later at stage, we can then expose children to Lego, which actually opens up a lot of possibilities, right?
Lego, of course, even from earliest childhood, there are Lego systems available for 3, 4, 5, 6-year-old children, and they are so systematically building up. These Lego people, Denmark, they are doing really a marvelous job.
But there is only one issue because of affordability. Maybe not everybody can afford it, but this hammer and chisel, everybody should be able to. The school should be able to afford it, or should. And I think with this we can turn this consumer mindset, just grabbing and this impulsive buying is okay, but we should be able to really work with our own hands.
Or at least upgrade it, not be totally submersed and drowning in consumerism. We can grab these bought things, and we can do something which is more fun than just consuming.
And I feel this brings in the dignity of work, your work-based ethics,
and you can save money
working
from
together,
buying some expensive stupid stuff, because you can do it yourself.
Yeah, I think that's the message. These things we have to insert in our routines, whether we are doing schools or homeschooling or anywhere, any profession, any walk of life, traveling, working, home, our children need this. Thank you.